All right, we're going to continue section 6.2. Previously, we used Excel to find probabilities. Now we're going to continue on and use Excel to find a z-score. So just a reminder here, the best way to use these videos. And now we're going to use norm inverse. And now, again, this is really important. We're determining z-scores. And right now we're just determining z-scores, not raw scores. So we'll type in equal norm.inv, or sometimes it doesn't need the dot depending. And then the probability 0 and 1 just because we're in the standard normal. So here I am still going to draw a curve. So for A, it's telling me less than or equal to. So we know that the z-score is going to be less than or equal to. We don't know where the z is, but we know that this whole space here is going to be 0.6808. And sometimes you'll see that kind of labeled off to the side. So when we're trying to find that and it's already to the left, that makes us happy. Right to the left makes us happy. So we're going to do norm.inv. Our probability is 0.608. 6808. Our mean is 0 and 1 because it's standard normal. And so our z-score is 0.4699 or 0.47. So now let's calculate, let's look at B. So B is still less than or equal to, and now it's 0.9. That's kind of a lot, right? Remember the whole thing is 1. So we're trying to find this z-score here. So it's the same idea because it's already to the left. And again, norm.inv because we have a probability, 0.9, our mean, and 1. And we get 1.28. So let's look at C. We're still looking at less than. And that's a pretty small number, so maybe our z is over here. And this this probability is right there, so let's type it in. Our probability 0.0643, our mean is 0, and our standard deviation is 1, and our z is negative 1.52. Let's look at D. Now D is greater than. So it's greater than. The space that's greater than is really, really small. So maybe our z is over here. And it's okay if your z is always in the same spot. It's not really a big deal. But what's important is where you shade. Remember that the answer from Excel is going to be over here. So we actually are going to type in, we really want to give the area of this value here because this is what Excel is going to give us. This is what we really want to know. Excel is going to give us that space. So that is what we're going to type in here. So norm.inv 1 minus 0.021201. And so our z is 2.03. And for E, we have two values, and it's a negative z and a positive z. So just kind of keep in mind here, they don't give us either, but we know they're the same values. And you may already know this if you think about it because it's 0.95, which we already know kind of what gives us 95%, but we'll pretend like we don't. And so for here, what we can do is we have to remember, all right, they're actually only giving us, when we type it into Excel, it gives us the area to the left. So let's find out what this z-score is, this negative one, and then we can figure out the other one. So this space here, well, what's this tail? Remember 0.95, that means it's 0.05 left over divided by 2 is left there and there. So we're going to actually type that in, and that is going to give us this z-score. So we've got norm.inv, and the area we're concerned about is 0.05 divided by 2, 0, 1. So that z-score is negative 1.96, and so that means this one's 1.96. So go ahead and give this one a try. Just be really aware of this value here. Label it and just see if you can do the same thing. You might, this one's tricky, but give it a try, and then press play when you're ready to see the solutions. And there you go. We'll do another example together. So Americans are increasingly skimping on their sleep. A health expert believes that American adults sleep on average 6.2. So we're going to call that our mu. Our mu is 6.2. And a standard deviation of 1.2 hours. And it says that it's normally distributed. Now, before we were typing in 0 and 1 for the mean because it was standard normal. Now we're going to type in our mean and our standard deviation. So A says, what percentage of Americans sleep more than 8 hours? So we've got 8 hours here, and we want to know more than. So they're giving us, they want to know the probability, percentage and probability. So they want to know this. So we're kind of going back to what we were doing before. So we're doing norm.dist this time, and our x value is 8, our mean is 6.2, our standard deviation is 1.2, and we're going to always type in 1. Now, the thing about that is it always returns our left to the left here. So this is what Excel is going to give us, this area to the left. So if we want the area to the right, a quick way to fix that is to just do 1 minus. And so this area here is 0.0668. So what percentage? About 6.68%. What percentage of Americans sleep less than 6 hours? So less than is this way. That's good. That's going to return exactly what Excel is going to give us. So norm.dist. Our x value is 6. Our mean is 6.2. Standard deviation is 1.2. And we get 0.4338. So that's about 43.38%. And what percentage of adults sleep between 6 and 8? So now when we're trying to find the between, remember Excel is always going to give us the area to the left. It's going to give us this area and this area. So if we subtract the two, it's going to work. So we'll do 8. 6.2, 1.21 minus 6, 6.2, 1.21. And we get 0.4993. So about 49.94%, because we've got that 7 there. Go ahead and give these ones a try. Press play when you're ready to see the solution. And there you go. And we're going to pause here and we'll continue with our last and final video where we bring it all together and explore a couple different things with percentages and percentiles.